Hey, everybody. Welcome. It's Wednesday.
Hello.
It is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my
Is it
dudes.
Wednesday?
Yes. What's the intro, Ian?
Okay, here we go. It is Wednesday. All right, welcome to Wednesday. We're doing the music. Boom, boom. It is January the 21st. And the music should be playing. It is playing. Okay, there it is. Today, winner nukes, not nukes. That's the name of the thing. Battery. We're going to talk about some battery stuff. You know that song? Anyway, okay, people know the song. The next SGU events. I also found an event space that we'll take a look at, see if you guys are into it, and then we'll do some TikToks. Okay. Welcome in, everybody, to a Wednesday. Hopefully everybody's having fun out there. We had fun.
Yeah, what's not to enjoy?
Oh,
yeah. World's a happy place. Everyone's good.
Yeah,
Steve was interviewed.
Wait.
Whoa.
Whoa. Are we supposed to talk about
Too soon?
Talk about it? I don't know.
I don't know. Let's just say you'll be excited for something that will happen in the future. That is vague enough. Let's just say we were in New York.
Yes.
We had pizza.
Yeah.
It was okay.
That cacio e pepe pizza.
That was good.
It was crazy. We had
What?
cacio e pepe pizza.
How the hell was that?
It's pepper with cheese and it's pizza with cheese and pepper.
Yeah, so
It was good. It wasn't cacio e pepe. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
It was
it was
good.
pasta on a pizza.
Yeah, it was good pizza. Yeah.
But there was pasta.
No, there was no pasta on it. No.
No, it was just
Well,
I know.
It was
so
just
the flavor.
cacio e pepe flavored pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They basically threw some pepper on there.
But we were in New York for a reason that we will let you know as soon as it drops. How about that? Let's keep them on.
Okay,
hooks.
we'll
Let's
wait.
keep them hooked
We'll
a
wait,
little bit.
fine.
You'll be excited, is what I'm saying. Okay, there.
Someone said, "What world does Steve live in?" I live in irony world. All right.
Yeah, he's
Read the room.
read the rule. Hey, sarcasms. Okay. All right, let's actually talk about some of the
Krampus.
events we have right at the top.
Okay.
You know, I just okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you may, especially if you're in the Discord, you may have heard it, or you maybe heard it on the podcast. We mentioned it last episode, right? Yeah, didn't we? If you go to Skeptic, actually, we'll go to Nauticon because I also updated it there. Nauticoncon.com, rather.
Not a con.
Not a con. It's
Con.
not a con.
Say it loud. Say it out loud again.
.com, not a con.com. You can click on this button that says buy tickets now on skepticon.org.au. So you can actually just go there, skepticon.org.au. If you would like to come to, it's in Australia, so the server's a little slow for us in the quote unquote civilized world. Not really. You can buy tickets to our Nauticon and Skepticon crossover event in 2026 in Sydney, Australia.
Sydney.
Australia.
So crossover event, meaning that Skepticon is, they're the backbone of helping get a lot of things done.
Right,
Bottom line is, it's going to be an SGU Nauticon, a complete SGU run conference with all of our content.
Okay.
So for those of you who have been to Nauticon, you know what to expect. And this is so cool. Like I'm so psyched that this actually worked out. Whenever ideas are thrown around or whatever, it happens all the time. You never know what's going to stick. And this one did, and I'm really happy. Working very hard on this freaking conference.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ahoy. So sound off in the chat if you're going to go, and if you got tickets, go ahead and get some.
What's this Hitchhiker's Guide tie-in?
It's their 42nd Skepticon.
Oh,
So
okay.
42
Yeah.
is
Oh,
the-
man. I might take this moment then to say I'm going to totally listen to all the books.
That's all it takes, Bob. You just need a little impetus.
It's been years, and it must be read by Douglas Adams himself. I got to find those. I actually found the files. I have files for all the books read by him. So maybe I'll listen to them again. It's been so long, and it was so damn good.
I'm wearing my coat because I'm cold. I'm over the flu. I'm okay. I appreciate the concern. I appreciate it, guys, but I'm going to live.
And I'm not that cold, but Christian, hi Christian, you were right. This is more of a style choice than anything.
Mr. Christian.
I just love my Krampus scarf so much.
So much.
Let's talk about how George Soros paid each of you $50 to host this live stream. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got $50. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. He's
So
out
wait,
there
but Ian, we
doing
forgot a
his
few
thing.
things.
What was that?
So we're going to be in Australia, in Sydney, Australia, doing the Nauticon conference. There's multiple shows that we're doing. There's other ticketed events, like we're going to do an extravaganza.
If you click on it, you can actually see all the events. Just give it a second because there's the Everything Pass, which includes everything. But these are all the individual things. VIP. So the extravaganza is the first thing we do on the
Wednesday. Are we going to do like what we did in the Friday night?
Yes, I'll tell you. I'll
Yeah.
tell you everything. So I believe it is Wednesday the 22nd. We're going to be doing an extravaganza. Then on Thursday the 23rd, we're going to have our board game meetup. It's like a board meeting, 3 hours of anyone that wants to come to play board games with each other. Last time we did it, it was a ton of fun. I hosted the werewolf game at my table.
Okay.
And also that night, starting at 7 p.m., there's going to be a conference VIP. And then at 9 o'clock, anybody that bought a ticket to go to the conference can also join in the celebration that night. Then the Friday and Saturday is going to be the main conference. And then there's also, at lunchtime, there are 2 1-hour recordings of an SGU podcast, which you could buy tickets for.
Oh, and also these prices are in Australia, so Australian dollars, just in case anybody is wondering. Just so you
And then we're going to do it all again in New Zealand.
Kind of, not everything.
Not everything.
Not
Some of it.
It's not going to be a
That's
Nauticon.
somewhere
It's going to just be the mini. It's a
Mini-a-con.
one day thing that we're doing.
Gotcha.
With the SGU. Their conference will be 2 days, but we'll be there for a full day.
Got right. Sure.
But speaking of events, somebody sent this in, and let's see if you're interested in this location as a new event, specifically for Bob. Have you heard of the Clown Motel in, what is it, Topeka? I don't know where it is. It's in, I don't remember where it is actually now that I'm looking at it, but it's got paranormal activity, Tonopah. That's what it is.
So they have legit paranormal activity.
They have a cemetery in the back.
Looks completely fake.
For fun. No, it's apparently real. It's from 1905. I think there was like an outbreak of a disease.
Cholera?
There's only one way to find out the truth.
Plague.
Get your shovel. I'll meet you there.
I'm not a big fan of those tombstones.
Pneumonia. Yeah. So part of it was that the cemetery was flooded often because I think there was a lot of mining in the area, and so there's only 30% of them are like original. But so they had to remake some of these tombstones.
So it's fake.
Okay. I mean, like, there's probably bodies under there. But somebody sent us a video. This is actually the website. You can actually book an event. But let's listen to this little video to try to sell it.
Okay, so
Have you been thinking of getting into erotic asphyxiation but haven't found the right location to do it at? Well, I found the perfect place for you, the Clown Motel. This motel is not like most motels because it has a gym. To check in, you just go through the gift shop. And if you want to bring home a gift for your kids, consider the Martin Luther King Jr. pop socket. Or maybe a pocket knife for your son that's just a little bit too into worms. And you could even buy something that reminds you of your ex. I asked if I could stay in their most romantic room. And wow, did they deliver.
There you go, Bob.
If you bring your special someone here, I promise they will absolutely love it.
That's a lot of fun. I would definitely check it out. But
Wait a
but
second.
Not your vibe.
basing your motel on probably one of the most common phobias, coulrophobia, fear of clowns.
That's common.
I would.
This is Nuke.
What?
I didn't know how common.
Oh my
it is.
God, coulrophobia is like is a huge.
Being assaulted by
So
color.
many people are freaked out about clowns that it can't help your business that much.
Well, I mean,
I'm
people are
thinking-
dying to get in. Get in.
All right.
Oh, okay,
Ian,
watch.
can you
The room even
rewind
has-
to where she's opening the door?
Okay.
Junior pop.
The Martin Luther King.
This
pop
motel
song.
is not like most motels,
Oh, I accidentally liked it. Whoops.
You went too
but
far.
haven't found the right location to do it at.
Yeah,
Hold
you
on.
went to the
Most
door.
motels because it has a gym. To check in, you just go through the gift shop. Pop socket. Maybe a plan that's too into worms. And you could.
Stand by.
Yeah.
I asked if I could
Watch.
stay in
Let's
their
watch this part and pause it when I tell you.
Yep.
most
You see the
romantic
door
room.
frame pause. Look,
And
stop.
wow.
That right there. Rewind a second.
And wow.
Right there. Do you see how the door frame is
Romantic room.
it's totaled?
Janked,
Oh.
yeah.
People
Yeah.
have been trying.
That would stop me from staying at that place
Yeah, that doesn't bode well.
because they could put black paint and whatever they want. This is a completely piece of shit building that you're in right there.
Yeah, it's a murder motel, but I mean, there's something for everyone.
They
I
deliver.
don't have the fear of clowns, so when I look at this, I'm just literally seeing like, okay, so they have stuff that made it from like the 1970s.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
fear
Like
of
the
bed
carpeting,
bugs.
I'm sure that carpeting wasn't freshly put in.
It might not have been vacuumed in a couple decades, but I mean, don't-
Yeah, and I to me, it's so gross. I could not gross like from a horror show. Gross from like it's ill maintained and there's probably like poop bacteria all over that place.
Well, here, like they show something. Maybe
If you bring your special someone here, I promise they will absolutely love it. And the room even has this super romantic black light you can use.
There you go. So it's got a black light feature, so you can see, any
I
of the
see all the
stains
nasty people
and,
that have been there before.
Oh boy.
Oh my
So there's
god.
that. So
No,
you can
thank
sleep
you.
with that just staring over
What
you.
more
Let's
could
see.
you ask for? And just a fun tip, you will have to bring your own soap if you're into that kind of thing. There's also
closet
this
is from the
beautiful mural in the
1960s.
bathroom, which is exactly what you want to make eye contact with when you're taking your morning shit. And if you need a break from all of the clowns, take a stroll through the cemetery on property. All of these people died from the plague. Have you been
So anyway, somebody sent that in and thought of you, Bob. So I don't know what what
That's fun.
vibe you're giving, but there
I
it is.
approve.
Okay, there you go.
And I hate the fact that we live in a world where I have to say that could be all fake. Could be AI. It could be.
I don't think
Well.
so. Maybe, I don't know. They've shot movies there. Apparently, you said it.
Why would somebody want to shoot a movie there?
Why wouldn't you? It's like very iconically weird.
No.
You know, what I mean, people. This is America. We can be.
Probably
as
wasn't
weird
the
as we
whole
want,
movie.
right?
Probably just a part of
I
it.
think. I don't know. Yeah, it's the scariest motel. This may or may not be AI. I doubt it, but there you go. Come and film your so maybe SGU event, maybe a road trip right
Yeah,
to
sure.
here, and then we never leave kind of thing. All right.
You'd have to wear a
Steve
black
Nonis
light on a helmet to make sure you don't miss any of the nasty.
Need the gloves that go all the way up to the elbow.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, so there's that. So now let's see. Somebody also sent this in because it was a ball lightning. I think we've talked about ball lightning right before on the show.
A little bit, not much.
So they actually.
This is
posted it.
I saw this. This is
You saw
pretty
this video?
interesting. Yeah, check it out.
So let me full screen it. So sorry.
Ed and Melinda Party. This glowing blue ball of light is called ball lightning, and it appeared behind
that
their
it
home
there?
just moments after a
Like the sun.
very intense lightning strike occurred. It lasted for about 23 seconds before they heard a pop sound, and then the light quickly
shit.
disappeared. Now, although
that-
ball lightning is very rare, there actually have been over
legit?
10,000 reports of these from around the world, dating all the way back to the 12th century. Reports from
I think I saw a
pilots,
Terminator
sailors,
in the middle of
scientists,
that
and
ball of
everyday
light.
people, but only a handful of them have actually been documented in a video this well. Ball lightning
Captain,
can
we have
range
a
from
temporal
size from
anomaly.
grapefruit to basketball, sometimes even meters wide, and the light can vary from red to blue to orange or
So
yellow.
what is she- what's the gist here? What is she
They
saying?
are typically
Well, it's
found sort of just
showing
above
a
the
video
ground, and they
like
sort of
that none of
float
us have
or
ever seen of
hover
ball
right
lightning.
above where the lightning actually
And they figured
the
out what
lightning strike
causes
actually
it.
occurred.
Really?
However,
Something in the soil,
there
yeah.
have been
Oh,
reports of these
oh
balls
shit, it's
actually
soil dependent.
moving and sometimes even moving
That is
through
so
windows
cool.
and moving indoors. Ball
Wouldn't you
lightning is
run
not
up
an
to it?
optical phenomenon.
If
It
this
is
is
a
real, but-
real
Yeah,
thing, and
assuming
it's
it's real.
caused by intense thunderstorms. But scientists are still trying to figure out the exact cause. Now, there
Nobody
are
else
several theories,
was there
and
filming
one
at the
of the
same
most
time?
widely accepted theories is that
Yeah, I
the
don't know.
lightning
One guy
strike
with the
actually
phone?
Don't touch it.
vaporizes silicone in the ground, which is found in some soils. And then the silicone reacts with oxygen in
recent?
the air, creating a glowing
guess so.
plasma ball just above the ground.
All right,
There's
look at
another
that.
theory that suggests that the lightning ionizes particles in the air, like gases or water vapor, and then it creates this clump of ionized plasma, which glows and sort of hovers just above the ground. Now, although ball lightning has been partially replicated in laboratories, none of these recreations have actually matched all the properties that have been described by observers, like the ball moving or able to pass through windows. So Ed and Melinda are very lucky indeed to have been able to capture such a unique phenomenon in their backyard.
Yeah, I mean, so from a skeptical point of view, this doesn't verify anything.
It seems
can't-
like it would be a very easy thing to
fake.
fake.
Yeah.
The ball light.
I mean, but so it doesn't push the ball forward or either way. It doesn't prove or deny anything. It's just another like whatever. Like we're going to be flooded with fake video of everything. There's no reason for us not to suspect that this video isn't fake. I mean, like Bob said, if there was multiple camera angles or anyone legitimate saw it in person or whatever, that would be it. But I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that something like this can happen.
But wait, isn't it? I haven't done a deep dive on ball lightning or even read about it in a while. But isn't it generally accepted that this phenomenon is real? This exists.
I don't remember.
The cause.
I haven't read about it. I mean, if it is real, shouldn't you be able to generate one artificially?
Yeah, but I think one of the problems was that we didn't know exactly how they formed. But I don't know what's the consensus on that.
Yeah, well,
I mean, AI and Wikipedia specifically says it's a rare, unexplained phenomenon described as luminescent spherical objects that vary from pea-sized to several meters, in diameter. Though usually associated with thunderstorms, sorry, I'm scrolling. Observed phenomenon is reported to last considerably longer than the split-second flash of lightning bolt. It is distinct from St. Elmo's fire and Will o' the Wisps.
I mean, lightning has a lot of energy. Could that create a little ball of plasma? I guess so. It's not inherently
Self-sustaining.
Floats.
implausible.
I mean, it's also likely that this is caused by what's his face from Street Fighter, the Haruken.
Yeah.
Because what happens to him when he misses? What happens to them, Bob?
It
Yeah,
just
they
keeps
go.
going.
They got to go
They
somewhere.
gotta go somewhere. Why not that field?
I'm telling you, I think there's a. If you zoomed in, I think you'd see a little Terminator in there, but
I mean, apparently
got to rule that out.
They
at
were
least,
having
right?
a Street Fighter thing happening right there.
There have been some laboratory experiments to try to replicate it, like microwaves
Yeah.
to use it. Like it creates a plasma ball, but it just kind of floats up. So this is a little bit different. Obviously, that's kind of like floating, in across the.
but what somebody needs to do is take that video and then have the Terminator emerge from the plasma.
Yeah, that would be cool. But it's too far away. It needs to be a lot closer for it to be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is also the video is a little grainy, which I'm like, they didn't send this news reporter the high quality video. I mean, maybe they were really zoomed in, but it's like, why does it look so? The resolution looks so weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Reddit. I don't know.
To whoever is asking us to talk about Havana syndrome, we're not prepared to talk about that. I don't.
Well,
I-
we've interviewed a guy about Havana syndrome previously. I have done a deep dive on it previously. I don't know if there's anything recent or any updates.
Yeah, they're mentioning like something that happened when they captured Maduro.
Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't read anything about it being used when they were capturing Maduro. But even if like a microwave weapon exists, that doesn't mean that Havana syndrome exists. So there's a few ways of looking at it. Is it technologically feasible? I think for like a microwave weapon, not really, because it really wouldn't penetrate the building. You'd need to be really close.
Well, what would the
something-
microwave
something
weapon
very, very
do?
powerful.
What's the claim that it does?
I
what?
don't know, heat up your tissue.
Yeah.
Sonic, I think, is more plausible, like a focused sonic beam. It's not really going to injure people, but it could make them nauseated or dizzy
It
or
could be
whatever.
very
Well,
disruptive.
those were the symptoms that people were talking about that created the Havana syndrome.
Well,
right?
but then which is then you say, go clinically, what's going on, right? And that is where the evidence is really dubious, because it does seem to be a mass delusion.
Right.
If you look at the history of how the symptoms were being reported and how it spread, and
That's what I remember from your
Yeah.
talk about it a few years ago.
and then if you look at it from a spy point of view, like would spy organizations do something like this? Absolutely. I think the idea that they wouldn't do it, I disagree, with the Havana syndrome skeptics about that. I think this is exactly the kind of stuff they would do. So I think the most implausible aspect of it is the medical aspect of it.
yeah,
Not that you can't create those symptoms with an ultrasound device or whatever, a sonic device, but that the people who reported it when they reported it is not really a good story for a real phenomenon.
yeah.
But I think
But-
overall it's plausible. Like, they're absolutely like, look, for example, if they did have some type of microwave technology that could.
We have devices that can beam. Is it microwaves? I'm not sure if it's even microwaves, but that can send a coherent beam to crowds for crowd control. That makes it feel like it doesn't really do any damage, but it makes it feel like
Your skin is crawling.
your skin is burning, and you just basically run away. That absolutely exists.
Yeah, the question is, could they do it stealth? Because these are huge truck,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
mounted
the
things.
diameter of the device emitting is like something.
It's not
like
somebody with a device in a briefcase.
Well,
Yeah, right.
If that beam could go through, something that's blocking vision of it, which could be a very, opaque but easily to pass through.
Yeah, I don't know. I've only seen
Possible.
direct line of sight use of those devices. So
Yeah, but we
Through
don't.
buildings. I have
We
no
don't have
idea.
a smoking gun though. We don't have any
No.
real evidence, right? So that's fine, But it's interesting. And then the sonic device, Steve, a sonic weapon, absolutely.
Yeah.
I hear noises every day of my life that stop me in my tracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's absolutely.
No, again, that is it's plausible you could cause the symptoms reported with a sonic device. But again, could it be done stealthily? It would have to be a truck-mounted kind of thing. Could it be done at distance through walls, etc.?
Right, that's-
You'd have to have some kind of line of sight. And so yeah, all the pieces aren't in place. There are elements of it that are semi-plausible or more plausible, less plausible. But, and the CIA, if I recall, they investigated and said, there's nothing's happening here.
Yeah. Yeah, it fits perfectly into vagary. That's the problem. Like, so there isn't. Yeah, you can't yes or no this. We could just talk about the edges.
There's definitely a mass delusion going on in the middle of this. Is it if it's 100% of the phenomenon or 90%? I don't. That's
Right,
the thing
right.
that you could argue
Yeah.
about. But it's definitely could be 100%.
But the thing that bothers me, I'm sure you guys thought of this too, is like, absolutely a government would do this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, there's
just to
nothing-
mess with the spies on the other side. That's what they
Yeah,
do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Somebody's wondering about the brown note.
Well,
Is
hey,
there-
now there's been
Can we-
lots of evidence to that. Apparently, the president gets hit by it every day.
Oh,
So
that might be his McDonald's diet.
yeah. So
McDonald's
but,
base.
more research needs to be done. Actually, I can't help myself. I'm sorry, Ian. This might offend
Here we
you.
go. Oh boy.
But I mean, we have heard people that we trust that know say that he smells like shit. If you're near him, you're smelling shit. And I'm just asking.
That's
you,
hearsay.
It is
I'm
hearsay.
not saying it's not
That-
true.
but
But
That
it's-
does offend me.
it's hearsay, but I'm asking you to just trust us because I know who I'm talking about and how I heard that, and I trust them.
there is evidence, but the
Yes.
evidence is shitty.
Like, I love when there's so many videos I've seen where look at the person standing behind and to the right of him, and the videos
Really?
basically like this. Like, you're Bob, you're Trump.
No, wait, no.
Your
I reject
your
that
microphone is
premise.
Trump. I'm the person that's supposed to be like, yeah, everything he says is right. And this person just goes. Like that. Like, I don't know.
You could see that in some people.
Yes, I've seen multiple instances of that, and I can only interpret that as one thing, Steve.
Well, that's because you're primed with the with
I
that
know.
information.
When you see it, you're like, "Yep, yeah, he shits himself."
Ian, do you have some anti broad spectrum spray? I could spray on my microphone now. Now it's tainted with this Trump.
Yeah, I will.
and
Okay, let's go
mental
to something
image.
else.
Like,
Blah. All right. Let's see. How committed to science are you guys?
Pretty
would
much.
you do? Okay. Would you?
We
would
should
you
be
do-
committed.
Would you do this? What the heck is that? Wait, hold on. Let me avoid that because I don't know what that was.
Okay.
It's just an ad. Oh, I have to be 18 plus to look at this? That's crazy. All right. It's just because it's gross. Apparently.
Dude, that guy wrote Bob. Bob, you're Trump. No.
no, reject that premise.
All right, here we go.
Immediately.
Warning, this may gross you out.
Uh-oh. I don't want to see it.
Come on.
What, is it a living thing?
I mean, you know.
Is it a parasite crawling out of a person's
shit.
body?
I mean, can you not spoil it?
We're
All
fine.
right,
We've
let's
seen
just
far
watch
I'm
it.
trying to
But
protect myself.
I felt an almost
Myself.
father-child relationship with this organism that was growing in my body. I was in Belize teaching a course in macrophotography. And while there, I was bitten a lot by mosquitoes. After coming back home to Boston, I realized that some of my mosquito bites were not really healing. And when I looked closely, I could see thin little straw-like structure that emerges from the wound every now and then to take a gulp of air. And being an entomologist, I realized that this is a breathing tube of a botfly. Because of their very interesting life cycle, they are very difficult to see. The botfly, a female, catches a
See you
mosquito
guys
in
next-
flight
No, Christian,
and
stay.
holds it and glues the eggs to the abdomen of the mosquito. When the eggs detect the
you next
heat of
week.
the body of the host, they immediately hatch and then they crawl into the
what
hole
the-
made by the proboscis of the mosquito.
Since botflies never land on their host, he figured the best way to actually see one was to raise the larvae to adulthood in his own body.
Obviously, even me as an
Was
entomologist,
it? Okay, good.
So you have the voiceover person like talking like this is a McDonald's commercial. And it's like so friendly and positive. Like, this is wrong. People should not do this.
With the $5 meal.
But Jay, he's
you
a
get
scientist,
barfly.
and he's taking a hit for the team.
He's-
He's doing this in the name of
That's right.
science.
He's committed. Are you this committed?
I mean, okay, I get it, but holy Christ, man!
I'm going to let this parasitic fly grow in my body so that I could study it.
So I could film it.
Why- and he
All right.
called himself. All right, whatever. Go.
My dog actually had something like that.
Yeah.
He's a scientist.
It's a lot bigger than that, though.
Worst erotic video ever.
All right, we don't need to talk about that because I'm still grossed out.
All right.
All right, let's keep
Okay.
going. Here we
Apologies,
go.
I had this initial reaction of slight
scientist?
revulsion, but that lasted for about 3 seconds.
disgusted
And
face.
then I thought, oh, what a fantastic
Yeah.
chance for me to document it and show it to the world.
Ooh, look at that thing.
The larvae
That's
spent
Elliot.
about 3 months growing in the skin of his arm until they were the
What
size
could I
of
do to
large
guarantee this
peanuts.
never happens to
They
me.
just pump you with
That's the
painkillers so
information
you
I
don't
want.
know that you have them. And they
Okay,
produce
Okay.
All right, so the movie Prometheus, you have a biologist who like was treating an alien
Entity.
The cobra.
entity
Snake-like
like it was friendly and it was all and
cute.
and I thought that was the most absurd thing in that movie. Like that was like the oh my god, this is so ridiculous. No one would do that,
Unreasonable.
and I have to rescind that opinion.
No, I disagree.
Because here we are.
I will rewind the video.
bad,
He
Steve,
said
but-
it was sort of like a father-child
No, I
relationship.
heard that.
I'll remember.
I'm sure we're going to hear it again.
The difference is this guy knows what he's dealing with, and he's doing this just to document it. In Prometheus, the guy met a first contact with an alien creature, and he's like, I'm a biologist, so I'm friendly with all life. If you were a biologist, you would recognize the signs of an aggressive posture instantly. That snake, whatever thing, was clearly aggressive,
Yeah.
and any biologist worth his salt would have been able to detect that. That's what was stupid.
That was stupid. This is stupid too.
This is
Go ahead.
just gross.
No.
This is not
The
stupid.
snake thing was smiling because he loves him.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at the rest.
It's trying to stand up and look bigger because he's friendly.
to. What's a hug?
antibiotics so that the wound doesn't fester. It wasn't painful, it wasn't unpleasant. It took 45 minutes for the larva to come out of my skin. In about 3 or 4 hours, it turned into the puparium, which is kind of an equivalent of a butterfly's chrysalis.
Crawl out of him and then crawl
The experience of having a butterfly made me realize that we ourselves are an ecosystem. Our bodies are inhabited by a number of organisms, sometimes permanently or just temporarily.
So, are you committed to science? Would you?
No.
All right.
No, I was waiting to hear like, and I went through this, and now we know X, which is awesome for humanity. Like,
You just got a good video of it,
Yeah.
which is what he does. He said he's a micro photographer.
Yeah.
Pay attention, Jay.
God, it's so freaking gross. Like, God, why would anyone?
This is what scientists need to learn, right, Steve? That they need to be part of the social media.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So,
You know,
That's
there is a
right.
thing.
Promote their
Steve,
work.
Steve said many times, like there is a thing that humans have,
the
like
wing.
a problem thing on the
thing.
wing. There is we have a problem with like things entering our bodies,
A violation of bodily integrity.
like which is why like the movie Alien is
Yeah.
so it hits us hard, because it's
Yeah, body horror, man. That's a big
Yeah,
thing. That a
it's
lot of
big.
people are like, nope, will not watch any horror movie that deals with body.
and this
body
is
horror.
scientific body horror right here.
look at the. Sean says, "I'm a biologist. The first thing I would think to do is hit it with a stick."
Yeah, of course.
I wouldn't hit it back in. I'd scrape it
I
off
think
with
he
a
means
razor
maybe
blade.
the alien snake thing. It's like bonk.
The first thing that would
There's
happen.
a science to that.
The first thing that would happen is once I realized what's happening, is I would run down the street screaming at the top of my lungs until I got past that wave of anxiety, and then I would take fire to my skin to get rid of these things.
All right. So that's
All right, so the three of us stand
Okay.
united
United.
here, Ian.
United.
We love science, but not that much.
I wouldn't do that to myself.
No.
I commend him for doing that.
You do it to somebody else, though.
I wouldn't do it to somebody else. I would watch a video of somebody else doing it to themselves in the name of science.
All right,
and
we're about
admire
to
him.
slip into like semi-pornographic talk here, so let's move on.
All right. Let's move on to something that's another palate cleanser, maybe. Have you heard the story about the smart cow? That the cows are learning.
Yeah, I heard a lot of them voted last year.
Okay. Ha ha ha.
Go ahead.
Ha. But for the first time ever, a cow has been documented not only using a tool, but selecting which part to use when scratching different parts of her body. So apparently,
So the cow picked up a stick with its teeth and scratched its body
and
with
scratched his back.
Okay.
All right.
So is that evidence of them being a certain level higher on the sentience scale or something?
It definitely
Tool
is
users?
tool use. We can't discredit the fact that it used a foreign object to do something. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, cows have a bad reputation for being super dumb.
Yeah.
Have you seen a cow?
Yeah, I mean, they don't come off
yeah.
intelligent,
At the airport,
but
remember?
Yep.
but I mean, this doesn't surprise me. I'm sure lots of animals.
I mean, famously, crows, I think, or corvids are pretty smart.
They're very
Oh,
smart.
yeah, crows are
Yeah.
crazy
Puzzle
smart.
breakers and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it was an interesting... I mean, I don't know what it means necessarily, but they're cool. Can they invent a new tool? That's a good question. Do they have tool manufacturing processes? I don't know.
Well, you think like one cow is like churning out these back scratchers? I don't think so.
yeah.
I think it picked up a stick and used it in that moment, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Christian, how can we hear those stories?
What stories?
He comments
I have
about.
a friend who's an ED researcher and has amazing stories of science who test treatments on themselves.
Yeah, that's not
ED
unheard
being
of.
erectile dysfunction or...
Emergency department.
Okay. Or energy department.
It could be erectile dysfunction.
Could be.
Got to be emergency
I
department.
mean, I guess,
Yeah, I'd like to hear those. If you want to come on and talk to us, that'd be fun.
My mind went there first too, Ian.
yeah, well, I mean,
what?
Yeah, at our age, that it's no more.
I've been hard for a week. That's actually
That's bad.
that's bad. Priapism. That's
Yeah,
bad.
you don't want
That's
anything
bad.
like that going on.
Thanks for that public service announcement.
Takes, yeah.
Yeah,
takes
if
the
you're
blood
hard
from
for
your
a few
brain.
hours and it's not going anywhere, go to the ED, so to speak.
He
For
said
more
he
ED.
said it is erectile. Okay, we were right.
All right.
See?
All right.
I knew it was going to be. I mean, dude's got to,
Well, that's why
figuring
that's
it
why
out.
they're testing on themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
test this out.
Well, they also have infinite funding, right? So they just like,
It's
yeah,
like,
I'll
hey,
take more.
baby,
Blah,
this
blah,
is
blah,
for
blah.
science.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to some other topics, please, Lord.
All right.
Battery
Not
or
nukes.
Not nukes.
Let's do
Nukes
not
or
nukes.
All right,
not
good. I'll
nukes?
take
Let's
not
watch
nukes for
this
1,000.
guy. This freaking guy.
This fucking guy.
I mean, there's always a guy. I got a guy for everything.
I like how it says it's completely obvious. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's
Okay.
only one
Yeah,
thing
it
that's
is.
obvious in these videos, pal.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Weapons are faker than space. And
Nuclear
a nuclear
weapons,
weapon was never dropped, ever, in the history of humanity. Now, I know you're going to be like, oh, that's not true. What about Nagasaki and Hiroshima? Well, let me tell you
Or
something
what about all the
about
videotaped
Nagasaki.
nuclear explosions, like the one you're showing in the background?
Well, have you heard of computers?
Well, no, but I've seen these my
From the
whole life.
1950s?
Before that, it was possible to fake
Big
thing,
computers? Uh-huh. That's what you think. That's what the government wants you to think. All right, let's go.
All right, here we go.
Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So Tokyo was
not Hiroshima.
devastated from a series of fire bombings. This is the aftermath of a firebombing series in Tokyo. Now let that soak in. So if we go to Hiroshima and look at the aftermath, it looks just like the aftermath of a series of fire bombings. And how are power lines and telephone poles
Because they're
still
thin, you idiot.
Yeah, destruction looks like destruction. Isn't that
Yeah.
concerning?
Therefore, it looks like a firebombing. Therefore, it was a firebombing. Does it look like a firebombing just in a general way, sort of way, or in the details? Like, are the shadows of people on walls? Does that look like a firebombing? So I love this. This is again part of this TikTok series on denying very recent history.
Right.
If it happened a day before I was born, it didn't happen, or at least I can deny that it happened if I want to for some reason.
But what? There's a series of hoops I jump through when I see something like this, right? First one is, is the guy a Poe?
Yeah.
Is this just, content that people are going to react to?
Could be.
Which it can be. If this guy's legit, meaning that he really believes what he's saying, then we're seeing yet another example of a conspiracy theorist who clearly does not have any legitimate evidence behind them that's making a dramatic video, which is, just part and parcel for being a people that are viewing the internet these days. What scares me is not that one person sitting out there would believe it, but that people will watch this and then it'll somehow get in to their minds
And
that
fester.
and fester.
Like a parasite.
'Cause
It's got 50,000 likes, so who knows if it's bots or
Yeah.
clicking really quickly, and they're like, oh, whatever, and scroll away. But
Well, so one of the things he said later on in the video that pissed me off was that, like, isn't radiation supposed to last for centuries and thousands of years? And it's just like, dude, I mean, he clearly did absolutely no
Yeah,
research at all. I
clearly.
mean, there's a thing, those nukes were airdrops, so they're not, it doesn't ignite, it doesn't blow up on the ground. It's like in thousands
An
of feet.
airburst, yeah.
So that airburst, it's actually an interesting process. The airburst it vaporizes everything and disperses it throughout the atmosphere. If it was on the ground, all that radioactivity would go into all the dirt and stuff
Yeah.
that's there, and then that would become radioactive. So because it's an airburst, it makes it. That's why that within literally a month they were able to like rebuild those cities because the short life of radioactives they had short half lives, and what was left they could clean up. It's just it's just like just do a little bit. I found out these details literally in 2 minutes, but he clearly does not care
And
about any of that.
The people that were there, but they were just using stim packs to get rid of the radiation, right, Steve? I mean, that's
Not stim packs, but Radaway.
Radaway. They were using Radaway.
Radaway, nice, love it.
So this is the thing. I have kids, so I see this and I'm like, okay, there's the skeptic point of view, blah blah blah. The parental point of view with skepticism attached to it is, my kids can encounter and will encounter videos like this, and it's my job to fortify them with enough intelligence to be able to recognize this for what it is immediately, and hopefully they don't spin out on crazy stuff like this.
So basically, his argument is, the destruction of Hiroshima looks similar to, in very broad brushstrokes, because I saw a picture, like the firebombing, the carpet bombing is really what he should be talking about of Tokyo. If you do sufficient carpet bombing to a city, you can destroy it to the extent of, a low yield atomic bomb like at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And he doesn't understand certain things about what happened. Therefore, it's all a conspiracy. But it doesn't. There's no coherent story there. So who generated the myth of nuclear weapons, and how has that been perpetrated for the last 60 years, 70, 80 years? And, why hasn't anyone, what happened exactly? Did we carpet bomb these two cities and then hid the evidence of the carpet bombing and pretended it was a single bomb? And Japan bought it, and the world bought it, and then the Soviet Union said, yeah, we're going to fake our own nuclear weapons.
Right. And then extrapolate a little bit.
And then all the copious videos of the nuclear weapons testing, even going back to the 40s and 50s, have all been faked. So you can't say it was.
You can't fake those, though. There's no way for them to fake.
They were blowing up nuclear bombs where the mushroom clouds were visible from Las Vegas. There are pictures of Las Vegas with mushroom clouds in the background, with hundreds of people, thousands of people watching it.
Yeah.
That was faked? That was all faked, yeah.
And also countries agreed to give up these fake nukes at some point.
So. The other thing, too, this guy's got me thinking, a heat ray could do all that destruction, too, Steve.
Oh, yeah, hot.
And who are we to say that heat rays don't exist?
Sure,
right.
I mean, did you watch War of the Worlds?
Yeah.
Well, there's your evidence.
Yeah.
Right, Bob?
Yeah, it's on film.
Yeah. I mean, exactly.
This guy's hair is a nuclear.
I'm thinking of the guy that was brought down to the Arctic to dispel at least his notion of a flat Earth. I want to send this guy and everyone who also thinks similarly to a test and show him a nuke going off, somewhat safe distance, not necessarily, and just and film his reaction of seeing it. It's like so.
He can ride one down.
It's like it can't help it,
So
Bob.
ridiculous.
We'll never learn to have.
I mean,
this will always bother us because it's so.
This is thought disorder level, though.
Definitely.
Of stupidity.
But is that the only solution? Is you have to bring them
No.
one by one?
not
but
even
that's what would
necessarily
make
a
me
solution.
feel good.
Okay.
You know, but I mean these.
There is
a lot
no
of these,
solution. You can't fix the world.
Can you
can't
imagine
fix
how
these
his other
people.
crazy beliefs? I mean, I think is this the guy that threw out some other?
He's a moon host, flat earther. Space isn't real.
Forget
You see,
whatever.
at the beginning, they're as fake as space. Space doesn't
Yes,
exist.
that's a recent one I heard.
That's it. You think space doesn't exist. Yeah.
Like
all the firmament, whatever. It's all
He's got it all figured out.
He's got it all figured out. And then I think he's the one right
he's
at
so
the end.
smart.
He says this is for entertainment purposes only.
Let me
Yeah.
see,
Yeah, he
let me
does
see
that,
that
yeah.
part.
He does the same
Let me see
kind
that
of
part.
trick
Two of the
that they all
videos we
do.
looked at
He
this
just throws
week.
it at the end.
Just throw it in there really fast at the end.
Yeah, and I think that's mostly we've come to the conclusion that it's for censorship, like of TikTok, to try to avoid whatever censorship.
I mean,
'cause it's
I-
like comedy.
I feel bad for him because look at what happens to people when they don't get laid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just terrible. It's really
So I'm rewatching Star Trek Voyager.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
how was it on the rewatch?
It's good. It's good. I like
There's
it.
some good episodes there.
It got good, really good towards the end, I think. Yeah, there's some solid Star Trek episodes. But I just watched the episode I just watched. Had a very skeptical lesson to
What
it.
was it?
So 7 of 9, who is still significantly Borgified, in the series. She basically built a device to download all of the updated information from Voyager, like all of the away mission reports, all the data they're collected, basically all the data generated by the Voyager mission into her brain when she regenerates overnight. So so it starts with her saying, "Oh, I think there's some parasitic light fleas in this power," and she goes through the chain of reasoning with all these disparate pieces of information, how she figured that out, and they looked and they were there, right? But then she starts to weave together these paranoid, stories
delusions.
about. She's again like piecing together all these disparate, seemingly disconnected, because they are, pieces of information. And then she comes up with a theory, a hypothesis that, Janeway was deliberately sent to the Delta Quadrant by the Federation in order as a prelude to conquest or whatever. And then once she applies that filter, she then reinterprets everything that's happened over the series in line
I don't remember that
with
episode.
that theory.
Yeah.
And then she sort of convinces Chakotay that maybe that there's something going on here, because, she was right about the flies, and she makes a very complicated argument, you know what I mean? But it's... And then, so that keeps happening. It turns out that she was overloading her brain with information, and it couldn't make sense of it. So she was inventing these paranoid fantasies. But it was good. The only thing that would have made it better is if they mentioned the term apophenia, which is what she was doing. But it was good. It was a good sort of once you decide that something is the case, and at one point, Janeway even said to her, "Well, whatever I say, you're just going to reinterpret in line with this." Conspiracy theory that you have going. It was a fun demonstration of the apophenia phenomenon of conspiracy theorists.
Imagine if they said, "Hey, I recommend this podcast from a few centuries ago that you should listen to."
Right, even though the show was before we were doing the podcast,
but it'd be in their past.
Yeah.
That would be pretty.
Now you know the controversy around Chakotay.
What?
Oh man, because that character was based on a
Native American.
a Native American expert who informed he consulted with the script writers. So he informed them about the things that a character like Chakotay should say and do.
Yeah.
Turns out he was total phony.
He was a phony.
And absolutely
that had a
total
phony expert.
Yes, a phony expert. And I mean, so there's that. So
Okay,
leave
that's
that
interesting.
There we go. Hold on, just had to change the background real quick for a little Alpha Quadrant.
Oh yeah, because we were getting into it.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure how far we were going into that little Alpha Quadrant.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Wait, you do that in the same studio?
All right, so let us look onwards. Oh, battery.
Oh yes.
All right, so let's do this one. So we talked a little bit about, I think, on the show, right, about this.
We did. We
donut
talked about it on the
battery.
SGU last week. We did a deep dive.
Yes.
Deep dive on the donut solid state battery. I don't think there's been any update in the last week. since
No,
we
I mean, we
recorded.
can watch a little bit of this video if you want to just.
This
see.
this is a gullible video though. I
Yeah,
think.
it's a little gullible.
It's a little lot gullible.
2026 just dropped a bombshell. A Finnish startup claims they've cracked solid-state batteries. Not in a lab, ready for mass production. Right now, 400 watt-hours per kilogram. That's 50% better than lithium-ion. 5 minutes 0 to full charge. 100,000 cycles. 370 miles range on a motorcycle. No lithium.
Wait,
no
what?
More
cobalt.
than that. It was too
No
small.
fire
Should
risk.
be way more.
Verge
about
Motorcycles already taking orders. Deliveries start Q1 2026.
Small battery.
Real roads, real customers. In weeks, not years. Too good to be true? We'll find out in 90 days. Follow for updates.
Come on, man. Throw a little skepticism in there. Too good to be true? Probably, but let's see. Let's wait.
So what's their game? What does this company think they're going to benefit?
I don't
from?
know. It's complicated. And like the motorcycle company is basically affiliated with the battery company. You know what I mean? Like it's not like an independent motorcycle company that is just buying their batteries.
Donut
So
is
it's not
full
like
of
they were
holes.
convinced by the demo.
No, it's the same
Right.
people.
One
It's all the
hole.
same people.
All the same people.
It's their company?
Yeah. It's basically all the same people. Yeah. So
Donut is full of holes.
yeah,
Yeah, one
Love
hole.
it.
Come on.
Pay attention.
the quickie summary is there a plausible path to a battery with the features that they claim? Sort of. You know, it's not breaking the laws of physics. It is kind of, it's just all ahead of schedule and all too good to be true.
Well,
kind
all
of thing.
together, like it's all the good.
And so you take it, it's like it's got every feature is better. It's like it's just all a little bit too good to be true.
It's literally a wish list of everything
is
you
a
would
wish
want
list.
in a new battery. Everything with no downsides.
So
that alone.
But
is
is that
huge
the
red flag.
hype and there is some reality at the core of it? Maybe they made some breakthrough and there some features, I don't know. And then, but if you look at it from another point of view, it's like there's no patents, there's no white papers, there's no published research, there's no paper trail. That's always a red flag.
Yep.
And so we can't, and they're not showing it to anybody. Like they're just playing very coy with it, saying it's a secret, it's a industrial secret, whatever. Which is, you get away with that to a certain extent, but then they're also trying to have it both ways by announcing it at the CES, like looking for investors.
Well, the big
it's just
tell, though, Steve, is the fact that company has literally one engineer.
no, but again, remember, but they got the technology from another company, the Nordic Nova, that does have a bunch of engineers. So it's misleading. That's what I
Okay.
thought too. But that company, the donut company, is just the marketing,
Okay,
division
well, that makes
basically.
sense.
And then they just basically acquired the technology from Nordic Nova, or Nordic Nano.
Yeah.
Nordic Nano.
Bottom line, too many red flags to have any reasonable amount of hope.
Right. I think
Right?
I would be cautious. I would temper any enthusiasm or any optimism at this point. There's a lot of red flags.
And don't pre-order anything from
I
them.
wouldn't personally. I wouldn't put any money into it with the
Right.
amount of information that's being given. With like, you generally before you dump any serious money into something, you want to see a prospectus, right? You want to see the goods, But this, just like, trust me, this is the way it is. But they came to the CES with an empty box. There wasn't a battery in there. It's not like they had brought a battery and like,
Right.
hey, we're
Not
running the
even-
battery during the show, and you could see it's how much energy it's producing.
empty box.
An empty box.
So what was the plan
I
there?
think the charitable thing is like they're doing the fake it till you make it sort of thing, and they kind of do have these technological things that they're working on, but they haven't sort of put all the pieces together yet.
And it could take them 20 years to actually get there. It's ridiculous. Also, like the owner of this company, the CEO of the company, is essentially a scam artist from previous ventures.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I wouldn't say he's a scam artist. I don't think until someone is like convicted of fraud or whatever, I don't like to say that. But we could just say, like 2 years ago, he was touting that his company was the first company to produce truly sentient AI.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
Which I think is bullshit. And so again, either a hypothesis, not fact, he is a scam artist, or he is way overhyping the technology that he's supposed to be marketing.
To an irresponsible degree.
To a degree where it's like he knows the buzzwords and he knows enough about the technology to say the right things that are, but it's getting way ahead, of the science
And
of
the
where
fact
the
they have-
technology actually is.
They have no patents, or they have shown no sign of trying to protect their technology, which again, to me is super sketchy because you need to do that. You need if it was real, if this battery were real,
the
and
first solid state battery, that's
with
huge.
all these properties, if they were sitting
Oh my
on
God.
a potential,
Yeah, not only did they
That's a
beat
$1 trillion industry.
billion-dollar companies to market with a production solid-state battery, they did it with, again, the wish list of features.
Yep.
It's
No
just,
downsides. No
it's way
apparent
too good.
downsides.
Yeah,
But if
it's
they were sitting
cheaper,
on that-
better, faster, everything.
Everything.
if I was a billionaire and this company was looking for funding, and I
they have
knew,
a billionaire investor, though, just to say
but
that.
my point is though, I would not invest in a company that couldn't prove that they own their own technology.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a.
Well, Well, billionaires invested in Theranos. There's a lot of throw
A lot of
a
funny
lot of
money
shit
out
against
there.
the wall and hope that one of them
Yeah.
hits.
Yeah, all you
Don't
need
worry
is
about all the
one
ones that
billionaire.
fail.
Even
And
if nothing
from an
hits.
investment point of view, that's actually rational, right? If you make $10 million investments, and one of them earns you trillions of dollars, and the other ones are a complete loss. It's worth it,
Yeah,
right?
lots of
Sure,
And so
man.
we're often talking about the lost ones that don't make it because they were dubious or whatever. And say, why did they invest in that company? They invested in a lot of shit, and they do
Right.
hit off enough. That's why they're billionaires. You only have
Yeah,
to
they're
really
doing
hit
something right.
once to make it into that club.
And this really pisses me off, not just because it's very likely that this is a scam, but that I want that technology.
Of course.
God, man, could you imagine?
And I hope it's real. I hope they're just terrible marketers, that this guy is fucking it up, but the technicians behind the scenes actually did figure out a couple of things that'll making this room. I hope it's all true.
Yeah.
It'll be great. It'll be great for the world. I just am not holding out any hope. But again, the one thing that's said in that video, which is true, is we're going to know sooner than later.
That's true.
By the end of this year, we're
that's
going to
the
have
benefit.
a pretty solid idea of whether or not these guys were full of shit or not.
Why at the end of the year? Like they were like it's weeks away.
Well, they'll delay and blah blah. But you know what I mean. But we won't. It's hard. If it is real, we'll probably know in a few months. If it's fake, it'll take longer before all of the delay tactics are exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, you're drawing a line in the sand when you say it's imminent. If you say we could have this
They
in
said
a
it's
year,
in production now.
in
It's
production,
in production now.
that's a huge claim
For the
they-
motorcycles, and then now they're looking to build a factory to build EV car batteries. out of
Right.
it.
So that's pretty. It's
And how many times have we
short-sighted
been
going
here?
in.
Remember the superconductor, right? Like the room temperature superconductor
God.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
all right, we'll know very quickly if this is real or not. And
Why
and
did they
a
do
week
that?
later, it's like this is fake. Because that one was just a mistake. They were, it's easy to make mistakes at this, not like mistakenly thinking you have a battery that you don't have, but like the superconducting thing. They just did their experimental setup was bad or something. The trick is, it's like the Hans and Fleischmann thing with the cold fusion. But the mistake was getting ahead in the press release, like getting ahead on the marketing or whatever, rather than
Not doing enough of the research.
yeah, being your own
dot your
most dedicated skeptic and saying,
And-
I got to prove this wrong before I
Right.
would dare say anything.
Right,
to
and
this
and
before
how
I
about they
publish.
refuse to have a nuclear engineer actually help
Yeah.
them out? Like, come on.
Well,
I mean, right there, that was a huge mistake.
If I had to put money down, I'd say this is a big scam.
That's probably a good bet, but I'm hoping that it defies the odds and that at the very least pushes this solid state battery technology forward. If not, they have it all wrapped up.
Where did that comment come out?
Doesn't matter. All right, what do we got next?
Well, in terms of topics, I think we
Viewer.
hit the majority of them. Well, actually, there were a couple other just random ones we want to talk about. There's
No,
the
wasn't there? There
TV
was the guy who.
Oh, this guy.
This fucking
the
guy,
moon
yeah.
guy. Yeah, you're right. There was the nostril guy.
Oh, man.
And there was the moon guy. So let's watch the moon guy. Oh, hold on. TikTok is yelling at me. Hold on. Shut up, TikTok. All right, here we go. Yeah.
Are we aware of what the official story is for how the moon formed? You know what it is, right? The official story for how the moon formed is that a very long time ago, billions likely of years ago, an asteroid hit Earth. Okay, you got to put your thinking cap on for this one, dude, because this is like
You don't
an
own
insane thought. Asteroid hits Earth, takes a big chunk of the Earth out, flies into space, but then kind of hangs out around there. And then as the Earth is spinning and the galaxy is spinning and we're hurtling at millions or thousands of miles an hour, all that, over millions and millions of years, the debris from the asteroid that hit Earth slowly formed like a snowball in the sky and became what we know today as the moon.
Okay.
When I told that to a friend of mine, they said, wow, that is a theory. First thing, you'd have to believe that theory, you'd have to fully, wholeheartedly believe in the theory that evolution happened, because then that confirms billions and hundreds of millions of years.
Let's stop
Next,
there.
That's
Okay.
one
you'd
thing
have
that
to
we're
This guy's just galloping a little bit. So first of all, it wasn't an asteroid that hit the Earth. It was a planet.
Mars-sized
We were
planet.
hit by a Mars-sized planet, Theia. And so, he's creating this image of like an asteroid hit it and threw up a chunk of... No, it completely demolished the proto-Earth. Chunks of debris rained up into orbit. A lot of it rained back down. But some pieces achieved orbit enough that they eventually coalesced over time into the moon.
And simulations based on the laws of physics show this happening, how this would happen. Totally plausible and reasonable.
Then he ties it into evolution, which is just wrong. That's just a
Where did
massive...
that come from?
Because,
That was
because if you believe in billions of years, then clearly you believe in evolution.
Oh, my God.
So that just shows you how sloppy his thinking is. I mean, sloppy thinking is the
But Steve,
total moniker
he
of
threw
this.
down that pyramid-shaped crystal, and because he did that, I believe him.
Yeah, that was emphatic. Yeah. All right, keep going.
What do we need to
You
see the
also
rest of this
believe
stuff?
in space.
Yeah, I believe in
And
space.
gravity, which is a funny thing,
Yes,
by the way.
I believe
People are
in
like, who
gravity.
denies gravity? Aren't we on the same wavelength, like what Nikola Tesla said about gravity?
No, we're
He said
not,
it's
dude.
not
No, scientists
gravity,
are
it's all
not.
about density and electromagnetism.
density.
Yeah,
Density and he's finished. He says electromagnetism.
Yeah, it says the electromagnetic universe crap.
Oh my God!
Aren't we all on
man.
the same page? No, dude, you're out there in left field. Gravity demonstrably exists, and if you to deny gravity, you have to be profoundly scientifically illiterate. Like you don't know the first thing about science, just maybe a few buzzwords that you misinterpret, which is exactly what's going on here.
Nailed it.
So you're saying it's not about density?
Aren't we on the same page?
we on the
Tesla.
same
Nicholas Tesla.
Yeah, enough
let's
said.
bring up like a famous scientist, like Nikola Tesla. Bring his name up. Therefore, it's got to be true. Well, that guy lived a long time ago. There's
And
been-
he wasn't saying there was no gravity. Again, he's just misinterpreting famous guys.
I
research.
weep for humanity. We are doomed.
I wouldn't say that.
People like this, I mean, it's like, come on.
This is a
rampant.
fundamentalist religious zealot.
Yeah.
Trying to twist science to fit his weird view of.
Yes,
of
but look
the
what's
universe.
happening to science in the research in the past year in this country.
Yeah, but it's
These are not.
This isn't
These
the
aren't
guy in
totally
charge.
separate
Well,
things that are happening.
I don't know. All right, should we see anything else?
So we have the moon forming with this extremely interesting theory, and yet we have the light from the moon emits, it's a cold light. Someone
Cold.
explain this, because you can take those temperature readers that you pull the trigger and you point it at the ground and it'll tell you what the temperature of something
Oh,
is.
you trust that science, do you?
Yeah.
What's
Should
he
do
even
it to his
talking
forehead,
about?
see if it
I don't know.
means anything.
He's getting
Cold
off the
light,
rails here.
man.
Getting off the rails. Because again, the cold
moon-
light, whatever. It's just stupid.
Yeah, it's just like in the moonlight, I think it's colder, he says. I mean, that's
not true.
Yeah, it's not true. It's also dependent on what he actually shot it at. Whatever,
Yeah.
so who knows? All right,
light, man.
I don't know if there's anything else he particularly
Light.
said. Well, let me see.
Cold. Unless, now here, what does it say in Genesis?
Aha.
God made light for the day and a dimmer light for the night.
Okay.
And you may be thinking, do you really believe in someone in the sky who... Well, hold on. You can laugh at believing in a creator, but don't mock, by the way. You'll end up... Just don't mock.
End up
End up what?
Finish,
But-
finish that
Finish
sentence.
your
Finish
thought,
that.
dude.
I think he was going to say he'll end up
Pascal's
in hell with
wager.
the devil.
The devil.
Okay, so
Go.
So we reserve our right to mock idiots like you.
So he's basically saying that because it was written a long time ago, that people that lived a very, very long time ago, that there was a greater light, which we now know today as the sun, and there's a lesser light, which we now know as the moon. That therefore, what was his point?
He's just trying to, again, twist things into a narrative that supports a literal interpretation of Genesis.
Okay.
That's it.
Here's maybe a little anecdote, but when's the last time you guys have talked to somebody who's proselytizing to you? Like, kind of in the way that this guy, you can kind of guess immediately.
It's been a while. I'm always happy to do that.
Not long enough ago.
No, I mean, I ran into someone at an airport. But
remember when there
just
were
catch the
moonies
vibe?
at the airport?
Oh,
Or there were
yeah.
Hare Krishnas.
Hare
Krishnas.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Are they still around? What happened to those guys?
I think they
What
say
happened to those
themselves.
guys?
There's a couple on TikTok that I've seen. That
They've
are,
gone into the ground, Steve. They're gestating.
Okay, they
They'll
come
be
out every
back-
17 years?
Yeah.
they're at the office.
17 and 13
I
years.
can't
or
have to do this.
whatever.
Yeah, now you're getting into the meth department.
Oh, now we're in the math department.
Yeah.
Good callback.
You're getting
Forgot about that
That's
one.
awesome. No, I ran into somebody who was proselytizing to me, and I could tell within the first 20 seconds of talking to him that he was on that wavelength.
He had that crazy look in his eyes.
It was that, but it was also, you know how sometimes people who are required to proselytize from a Christian perspective, like,
Yes.
are overly nice and asking you things like more than like a quote unquote normie would be, like just like really trying to get into what you're doing, like within your life and like what hobbies you're into. And I immediately was like, yeah, I work for a podcast that's, you know, science and critical thinking and all that kind of stuff. And I could see his face like turn a little bit. And, you know, we talk for a little bit more and blah, blah, blah. And then he gets to the point. He's like, so is that all you do is like the science thing? Because, you know, I'm not really into science.
No kidding.
And I was like, oh, boy. Like, I knew from before that he was religious. I could just tell by his like demeanor. I don't know what it is. But he was like, oh. And I was saying, you know, we work with Bill Nye and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, yeah, my pastor shares stuff, which I think is so weird for a pastor to share anything about Bill Nye. Well, you know, and I was like, what? Like, why? You know, there's non-overlapping magisteria, but
Nice.
you know, he was pretty down that realm. Anyway, luckily
What
I
a
got away
horrible
from him, but
sentence. I'm not into that science.
It was weird. I was like,
I hate it.
I was like, dude, you're using a cell phone. I was like, you're
Yeah.
into some sort of science.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the people that are using cell phones and they fly on jet airplanes and they're taking vaccines or antibiotics.
What has science
or
ever
whatever.
done for me?
I know. It's like, you know, you don't realize that you're a walking. The irony is pathetic.
Well, so maybe this gets to Steve. We were talking about this yesterday, and on something secret. Let's not talk about it. But you know, what amount of quote unquote proselytizing should scientists do? Not necessarily proselytizing, but like promotion,
Public education.
Yeah,
public
man.
education. How
It's
much
huge.
more
Public
should we be
education.
doing?
A lot
more.
more.
A lot.
Yeah, so
It has to be valued much more within academia, and
Especially in the United States. Other countries are,
other
are
countries
better
do-
than we are.
some other countries,
about that.
not all of them.
Yeah, some of them.
UK, Australia, I think do a better job than we do.
Like Sagan, even when Sagan was writing, you know, books for the popular, culture.
Yeah, popularizing science is looked down.
That was looked
upon.
down. He was like, his fellow scientists, like, dude, why are you wasting your time doing that? Basically, is what they were
Yeah.
saying to him.
It's not legitimate academic work.
Right. Imagine if Sagan didn't exist. I mean, our lives could have been. I mean,
It's hard to know, right? I mean,
It's
you
hard
have
to
an
it's hard to
effect
know. I
on
think
our
we,
development.
I think we would have been attracted to it anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was how many people did he
Yeah.
absolutely impact
Of
their
course,
trajectory
yeah.
of their lives? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's all hard to say. The bottom line is, you know, there's a lot of opinions have been proven to be wrong. Like, you know, the idea, like, you shouldn't be communicating like that to people. Like, you know, they're, you know, like, of course, you know, now we can look back and go, talking to the public about science is instrumental. That education is so unbelievably
Absolutely critical.
needed, and it's critical. And as a matter of fact, we need an order of magnitude more of it right now. We need high quality, you know, people that are going to educate everybody on science and how, you know, its effect on us and what the future has to bring. It's all very important. And unfortunately, you know, we're seeing firsthand here in the United States, you know, with science being so epically denutted and defunded and everything, the downstream effect of that is so scary. Like, I wake up, you know, it's funny, like the things I had, it's like I go to sleep and like all of this like fades out and I'm not worried about anything, and I wake up and my mind has to science funding is down and we're going to invade Greenland and we got, you know, all the horrors of
Democracy is
modern life.
screwed.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is people should be supporting the good science communicators out there. You know, science communicators should be working with each other. We need, I think, more of a coordinated effort to get the right information to the right people.
Yeah, but there are some aspects of, you know, of
You
our
said ass.
I did. Aspects of our political world that do not want to teach critical thinking. They want to, because they want a free pass to teach the propaganda.
Yeah.
You know,
You know,
they
and
want
why-
to control the narrative. They don't want people thinking for themselves.
You know, and it's actually very hard in today's climate to bring down any kind of consequences to people who are miscommunicating, you know, reality like this. Like, you know what? Like, the platforms want that. That's their bread and butter. They want people to get excited about these videos. They don't give a shit about the quality of what's in there. It's all smoke and mirrors. They don't really care. They give them easy outs, like that guy. can just say at the end of his video, this is just for entertainment. It's all he has to say for TikTok not to bring him down. You know, Facebook is like possibly one of the worst offenders that we've ever seen. Like Facebook has been part and parcel to creating, you know, these information bubbles and radicalizing people and everything. Yeah, so social media is really
in general has
it's bad.
negative. Hopefully, you know, I think Stevie said in the long run, maybe it'll be a positive curve, you know, for social media.
Yeah, well, there's definitely going to be some adapting to it, but it's a matter of all proportion. Like, there's positive aspects and negative aspects, and we don't know which ones will predominate and over what time scale. All we could do is just try to maximize the positive aspects, but make people more savvy about gathering information, curating information, evaluating it, putting it together, you know, being able to evaluate the quality and reliability of information, and to think critically, to have a basic working knowledge of science.
I mean, we're on TikTok specifically to push back on all of the pseudoscience and misinformation that's here. I mean, when we decided, I think it was what, 3 years ago now, or 4 years ago? You know, when we decided to do this, it was a reaction to our observation of just how horrible this platform is with misinformation. And, you know, we're addressing literally 0.000 whatever percent. Like, we can't even begin to do anything extensive on here. That's why I wish there was a lot more people doing what we're doing. Like, you know, picking these popular videos that people have a good chance of running across and giving the right information.
I mean, Canadian Space Advocate makes a good point. It's like, I have a channel that tries to fight against bad stuff but doesn't get, you know, enough views compared to like the fantasy stuff, obviously.
Yeah, and that's.
But you know, it's like if you have a lot of people doing it, hopefully it cuts through.
Yeah.
Even if it's like lower views, you know, it's like.
And part of it is like, what we've learned from social media is that everything you do is like buying a lottery ticket. You can't guarantee that anything's going to hit or go viral or get a ton of views. Being high quality is not enough. It's no guarantee. It gets you to the table, but it's no guarantee. And you just have to throw a lot of shit out there knowing that most of it's going to fail and just hope that something breaks through.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, honestly, with the SGU, the biggest reason that it was as successful as it is because we got in early. You know?
Yeah.
That was really it. We just got in
wave.
super early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were super consistent and we were working very hard.
Yeah, we worked we did all the things to make it possible.
Yeah.
But I think we wouldn't be where we are if we weren't ahead of the curve, which was mainly luck. You know, we just right place, right time sort of thing on the right platform. That was going to be something
like what
big.
we're doing right now. Like we deliberately allow ourselves to have fun and laugh and make light of things and all that stuff because we know that if we came out with literally like a, you know, just the science and just communicating it straight, like a platform like this, we'd have no chance of picking up someone if, you know, we're already 3 old white guys, you know, like, you know, we're perfectly aware of this, you know, but we want to make it more
white.
Yeah, but we want to make it more casual and more off the cuff, and we're swearing and all that stuff. Like, we like that. That's the way we kind of are normally with each other without the cameras on.
Fuck yeah.
But it's also important to make it, you know, a welcoming environment, to have some fun happen. You know, it can't just all be, you know, we can't all be Carl Sagans, who are just absolutely amazing to listen to. He was so enrapturing to listen to.
Oh man, yeah.
You know, most of us can't even come close to that level of charisma and everything. So we do what we can. You know, we get people on here that happen upon us, and sometimes you'll see them like yell at us and leave, and sometimes people find us and you know, they hear something that.
Yeah, it's always fun to see that people are just discovering the podcast. Like just a couple months ago, it's like, what? It's like. It still
that means there's more audience out there to be had. That's
true.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. All right, so I mean, we have the nostril guy, or we could just move on to the TikToks if we want to. Just
well, let's move on to the TikToks because
right.
I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, we got stuff to prep. There's a lot of stuff going on. There will be a new political reality episode coming out, and just in case people aren't aware, because this is technically "quote unquote" the Patreon episode. It will be on Patreon, the full version, for free for the first couple, you know. But there will be a 10-minute version on YouTube.
Yes.
So a 10-minute version on YouTube. Watch the full thing on Patreon for free. You don't even have to sign up. You can just watch it there. But do please sign up if you want to become a patron. And in the future, it'll be every other week.
Right.
YouTube will be 1 week. And I think that we have it So the odd ones will be on Patreon, and the even ones will be on.
Yeah, just to clarify, if you are a member of like a paying member on Patreon, you
Correct.
get every episode.
That's true.
If you're not a paying member, you get every other episode.
That's
After
correct.
the first few, we're going to be out there for,
Yeah,
for
just
everybody.
to get people
but then,
excited.
but then we're going to do the every other one model, just because you got to have some kind of model, and that's. the
And
model
also
we
on
come up with.
Patreon, we have all the episodes for audio as
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
So you only have to have one feed. You don't have to have two feeds.
Right.
And before we leave, I feel
Go
like
ahead.
I just need to say, like,
Do it.
Say it.
so those of us in the United States who are rational are fully aware of how absolutely absurd and crazy this whole Greenland thing is. And it's horrible to us. You know, I know a lot of people out there are just absolutely hating the United States, and I don't blame anyone for feeling that way.
Just remember, 85% of Americans disagree with Trump on Greenland. Right? He and his popularity is tanking, and not as much as it should. I get that, but it is being negatively affected by this. Basically, you have that like 35%, and we're in the Trump cult, and they don't care about anything, right?
Yeah.
But everyone else who's not in the cult, you know, they are reacting to the kind of things that are happening, and you know, if you are an American, write your congressman, write your senator. I mean, seriously, it does matter. There needs to be public outrage. Because you have to understand what he is doing. What he's doing is leading to the dismantling of NATO. That's the worst case outcome. He is destabilizing an alliance which has contributed to peace for the last 80 years. And I was just reading the speech that the Canadian Prime Minister gave.
Carney, is it Carney?
At Davos, I guess, and. I mean, he was exactly correct.
So
He's like,
eloquent.
I know. First of all, like you're reading a smart, eloquent politician. It's like, oh, I missed that so much.
Remember those days?
Remember those days? You know, just saying, he clearly sees what Trump does not. He sees how the world works today. Like there is an international order of liberal democracy, right? There is international law and order, and in that. Traditionally, America is the hegemon, right? We have been creating this, you know, stability and free trade and all this stuff and security. And countries like Canada, who are too small to do it on their own, have basically been riding our coattails. And he's saying, this is over, right?
Yeah.
The age of American hegemony is over.
And Steve,
and so what's going to replace it? We can't do it all on our own. So all of these mid-level countries have to band together and defend ourselves.
And one of his best lines, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
On the menu.
I love that line. Oh, my God.
So he basically, I think it may be too late now.
Yeah.
Basically, the era of America is basically over because of what Trump is doing. It's never going to be the same again.
And, you know, I just have to ask the question, guys, who would benefit if NATO went down?
Yeah.
Who's the beneficiary of that? Why would Trump want that? Why would he be angling for that? It's like I can't believe that I have to turn over in my head whether or not Trump is trying to help Russia and what his relationship
it's an
with Putin
absolutely
is.
it is a reasonable question.
Yeah.
Even Nancy Pelosi in an interview not that long ago said, like with Trump's, like all roads lead to Putin.
Yeah.
You know. Like, there's just too much there to say that there's not some relationship going on.
Of course there is.
But we don't have any smoking gun evidence. We're not making any claims.
Yeah, but it's just too much, you know, like it's...
And the simplest explanation is that he's just a useful idiot.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
That could be it too, I know. But he's so, you know, for a guy who is an idiot, who's supposedly, you know, has Alzheimer's and his mental decline and all this shit, he's still plugging away every day, gets more done in a day than I do. You know, the guy's, he's working hard. He is working hard.
Maybe the answer is in the Epstein files. Maybe they could release...
Yeah, why don't they just release 1 million of the files?
Yeah,
you know that would get us to less than the 50% mark. Yeah.
Right.
But you know they're not covering up anything there, Ian. Like
no,
you know,
it's fine. Everything's fine. Oh God.
All right.
So
long.
And on that note,
bye guys. We'll see you
do
soon.
some TikTok.
Bye, people.
See you guys. All right, we're gonna do a couple talks.
Quick talk. TikTok. All right, stand by on the whole.
Somebody said if Trump isn't a Russian agent, what would he do differently? As I was saying, to Jay, if he's not a Russian agent, he's doing a damn good impression of one.
Yeah. Boy.
It'll all come out in the wash.
Jay, do you want to pick up the swag that you got to send to somebody for the year?
All right, we got a couple videos. Chat. Remember to go to skepticon.org.au. And you can buy tickets to the upcoming Nauticon in Australia. Australia for science. So we'll do that.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, you know what? That one orange chair.
Oh, God.
I know, I'm sorry.
On this side.
Actually, wait, can I zoom in? Actually, that might be. Let's
All right,
see,
got a
TikTok.
clean studio back there.
There we go. We got the thing. All right, that's good. Oh, let me just rearrange your center point on this one. This, that, no, this. Go. There we are. All right, we're back. And all right. TikTok picture in picture. Here we go. This guy.
You just learned something messed up about birds, and now you have to know it too. Birds don't breathe in and out the same way we do. Yeah, that's right. They breathe in one long breath, filling their lungs, which then fills, don't listen to me, fills their hollow bones with air. And a system of air sacs inside their body inflate like an organic balloon. And then you think, well, then, of course they then breathe out, right? No. They fart out the old air out the back like little blimps. This whole
Here's the thing I don't understand. You have the energy to make a video and upload it to TikTok or wherever, but you don't have the energy to spend the 5 minutes it would take to do a little bit of online research to see if the thing that you think is real is actually real. It doesn't take that much time. That just strikes me as profoundly intellectually lazy and even irresponsible to then put it out into the public, information that may not be true. In this case, at least, you know, the little bit of misinformation here is, I guess, harmless. So, no, birds do not exhale out their butt. That is not true. He's misinterpreting the actual science going on here, which is fascinating. Birds have the most efficient respiration of any animals on the planet. Why is that? Well, flying is very energetic. They have to generate a ton of energy, and that requires oxygen, right? You have to burn your fuel with oxygen to make the energy. So they need a steady supply of oxygen. Plus, some birds can fly very high, higher than Mount Everest. And as you go higher, the atmosphere gets thinner, the oxygen tension goes down, there's less oxygen available. So they're doing a very oxygen demanding energetic activity at an altitude where there isn't much oxygen. And so as birds evolved, they got more and more efficient respiration. They actually have, unlike other mammals, right? We breathe in, the air goes into our lungs, we exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide, we exhale, right? We breathe in, more oxygen than CO2, we exhale with less oxygen and more CO2 in the air that we exhale. That's it, one cycle, in and out. Birds have a 2-cycle respiration. So when they breathe in, that breath of air actually goes to their posterior air sacs, which are in their butt. That doesn't mean it's in their rectum, right? It just means it's in the back part of the bird, where there's an exchange of oxygen. And then they exhale. And then when they inhale again, that same breath of air that was sitting there in the posterior air sacs then goes to the anterior, like the air sacs that are closer to the front. And then when they exhale, that breath goes out through their mouth, right? Through their trachea, through their mouth. So it still is coming in and then going out the front. Nothing is going out the back end. But there is this sort of two cycle. Each breath of air gets exchanged twice, and there's a constant flow of oxygen because of that two cycle nature of their respiration that gives them a much more steady flow of oxygen to sustain their flying even at high altitude. It's really cool. If you want more technical details, it's freely available online. Look it up. But no, they're not breathing out their ass.
Yeah. Had to do the bird video.
It's a bird video.
Yeah, it's a bird video. What are you going to do?
Don't spread fucking misinformation about my birds. Breathe out their ass.
He breathes
I don't know.
out his ass.
I guess
he talks out of it.
I've been doing it for so long. To me, it's so second nature. Like when I hear something, I always immediately ask, is that really true?
Yeah.
Is that really true? And I guess most people just don't do that. I mean, in this world today, you have to do that. Don't accept, believe, and certainly don't repeat anything until you've asked and answered the question, at least basically, yeah, but is that really true? Yeah, especially if it sounds, mind-blowing. It's like, this is amazing.
Yeah, there's your problem.
Here's your problem.
Is your problem, jerky. All right, I just wanted to remux those real quick. All right, here we go. Next and final one, actually. Here we go. Stand by.
You start understanding quantum physics, you realize that everything is energy and nothing is separate. And then when you realize that they can measure your brainwaves with a magnet that doesn't touch your head, you realize that your thoughts are not in your head. And they're part of this greater field that we are all connected by. And they're now trying to understand how we actually store memories, which is a developing process. Some of it is protein-based, and some of it is this theory that we basically store our thoughts in the cloud. So basically you're accessing your own Wi-Fi field. And this is why there is a difference of like meeting somebody in person versus doing something over Zoom. Our biofields are interacting right now. There are low-level frequencies that our brains interact on. So having that biofield, you realize that like you have your own biofield, you are your own Wi-Fi, you emit your own Wi-Fi. And so then thoughts can be the process of some of that Wi-Fi coming in, mostly directed as life force and energy, which is why like how you practice your energy and how you maintain your energy can really direct how your thoughts come out in your reality, because it's that life force that then drives a chemical change in the brain that then drives forth whatever is going to come out as like a conscious thought or a verbal thought or anything like that. But when you realize that it's the energy that comes first, this is why stuff like meditation could lead to manifestation, because you have to correct that frequency signal and then it'll actually correct your physiology. And I literally went through my own personal experience of this, because at one point I talked to people a lot about allostatic load, and it's this concept of when your body becomes overwhelmed. I just had so many things going on in my life on like a physical level, a chemical level, and a mental level. My body got overwhelmed. My immune system was starting to act in autoimmune type ways. I basically became allergic to all food. This is how I know sensitivity to supplements really well, as being made.
Is that enough?
Like she doesn't take a breath.
I know.
Right,
You're gonna have to cut it off at some point. So referencing another video I just did, birds don't breathe out their ass, but some people do speak out their ass. Case in point. So her big line of evidence that, again, people often make these huge leaps of logic to the conclusion that they want to have based upon really, thin reads. So she says, because we could measure the magnetic field generated by our brains outside of our skull, the information is outside of our skull. No, that's not what that means at all. The electromagnetic field is generated by the neurons in the brain. Like our brains are electrical. They are conducting electricity. They are generating electrical current with their neurotransmitters and their ion channels, etc. And that does generate an electromagnetic field. The electrical part you could measure through scalp electrodes, for example. That's an EEG. The magnetic part is much weaker. So you need giant, magnetic detectors in order to really pick up and interpret the magnetic field that's being generated by the brain. But that doesn't mean that's where the information exists or is being stored, right? It does, in no way does that imply or lead to the conclusion that that information is just going to the brain or our brain's interpreting it or receiving it, but it's not coming from the brain. It's demonstrably being created by the brain. We can correlate the brain activity with the electromagnetic fields that are being generated by it. You can correlate it with other imaging techniques, with blood flow, with functional MRI scan, which can follow different tracers in the brain, et cetera. So no, it doesn't mean it's coming outside of it. Then she just invokes quantum, whatever, that's just quantum pseudoscience. Again, nothing there, she says, is in any way relevant. Connecting it to the pineal gland, why? Just because that's the standard, spiritual belief that somehow the pineal gland is magic and connects us to the quantum field or spiritual this or whatever. There's no evidence for that. The pineal gland is a gland. We pretty much know what it does. So nothing that she says really is accurate. None of that is true. The functioning of the brain is the brain itself, right? It is the neurons. It is all the other cells in the brain that are modifying the circuitry and the conduction of those circuits in the brain, those networks. We can alter anything you think or believe or feel or whatever by altering the physical substrate of the brain, right? It's not receiving signals. It's not just interpreting them. It is the processing it itself. That's where the information is. That's where it is being processed. You are your brain. Your consciousness is the the activity of the brain itself, not anything outside of the brain.
All right, we did it.
There's those two. All right, yeah, that's fine.
Consciousness, activity, brain. All right, just trying to write it for me. All right, so I think we're good.
Okay.
We have events coming up. We have the Wisconsin event in May.
Wisconsin in May, SciCon in June, Australia in July.
That's right.
And New Zealand beginning of August.
Right. We may have something in between now and then.
We might. We'll, when it's official, we'll announce it. But yeah. Although it's getting kind of close. Tuned. The window's closing very rapidly, but we're trying to make something happen before.
Part of that is because Evan can't go too far away from the taxes. The taxes.
Yeah.
He'll be taxed. But so we'll stay tuned for that. If not, PR Podcasts, new episode dropping today. Again, available on Patreon for free for now. Or for this episode will be free forever, but the future ones will be behind the paywall. And next week we'll do more Wednesday streams. Remember to send us in any videos you find. You can either send it in through info@theskepticsguide.org or go to theskepticsguide.org and use the contact form, or you can tag us in these videos and we will find them. We will find the people saying wrong things on the internet.
That's right. We'll correct everything wrong on the internet.
We'll
get through it all eventually.
Yeah, we'll get there. That's maybe transhumanism's goal. It's like, eventually we will finish the internet.
We'll just make AI versions of all of us just continue to do it.
So the AI can correct the AI. Yeah, they'll be busy with that. They can't subjugate humans. They won't have the time. That's true. Yep, and in CT and elsewhere.
We'll have to actively avoid the ice squads when we're in Wisconsin.
Yeah, be careful out there.
Well, they're in Connecticut, right, Ian?
They're in Connecticut, as evidence. I have some people telling me that from sightings, like a UFO sighting almost, except that's realer. All right, so what else? I think that's it.
That's it.
Listen to the podcast coming out. See you next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.